there. We're about to make grilled pork shoulder, some good old barbecue, but we're going to do it on a charcoal grill. And we're making the rub right here, and we've already brined the pork shoulder. We had to brine it overnight. And
yeah, so we're going to travel back in time to show you how we did it. So to the TARDIS we go. Hello and welcome to the night before. To set up your brine, of course you're going to need your meat. We're going to use salt and blackstrap molasses, add a nice flavor. Now this kind of depends on the size of your cut of meat. We have 8 pounds, so we're going to need 3 quarts of water, 12 ounces of salt, and 8 ounces of blackstrap molasses. Go ahead and pour that out here. Also, if you have pickling salt, that works a little better. It dissolves a little faster, but we don't have that right now, so we should go with kosher. And tear the weight, that brings it down to 0, and add your 8 ounces of molasses. And this could take a bit. Heard the saying, as slow as molasses. Now you know why. Plus, it doesn't help that it's an almost empty bottle. That's why we have the other one.
also, something you should know is the pork shoulder that we are using is partially frozen, and we're going to put it inside our cooler. But if you have a completely thawed pork shoulder, you should put ice in the water too.
Now we have some ice in there, but that's mainly to keep it cold, to help it keep it cold. Also, we have it in a bag to help displace it because this cooler is a little oversized, so we need to displace some of the water. That's only an ounce. This is going to take forever. Well,
it's not going to take forever once we use the new bottle.
Oh yes. I almost went a little over there, but you know what? That's fine. This is a precision recipe.
Also, if you don't have a scale, 8 ounces of molasses is about 3/4 a cup.
And we're going to put our meat up in here. Pour the brine over it. And the rest of the water just help, we're just let it dissolve. And
we're using filtered water, but you can use tap water or bottled water.
And
personal preference.
Just kind of move. There we go. And see you back in the morning. Now that Doctor Who
and his companions are back with our brined pork shoulder, we can continue and go ahead.
We have some of these spices that we're going to grind up fresh, and that includes a teaspoon of mustard seed, another teaspoon of cumin, and how much pepper?
A teaspoon.
Teaspoon all load. Okay, there we go. And the fresh ground ingredients are just so much better. Add that in. We also have a tablespoon of paprika, ginger, kind of not too common to use in barbecue, but we sure like it. Please stand by for technical difficulties.
Okay. This is about a teaspoon and a half ginger. There we go.
And some good old cayenne pepper. Don't want too much of this. Well, some people do, but you gotta be sensitive to people that can't take the heat. How much of this? A half teaspoon?
Okay, yes. So we already have a full teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. Good.
Onion powder. I always like onion. And a tablespoon of that?
Yes.
And say a tablespoon of onion powder, garlic powder?
Yes.
Onion and garlic. There we go. And just kind of mix this up with your hands. You're about to get it on your hands anyway when you apply it to the meat. Now a lot of rubs usually add some brown sugar, but I'm more of a savory flavor person.
Besides, when we brined it with blackstrap molasses and salt, so it doesn't need salt and sugar in the actual rub.
Yes, now just kind of apply it to your meat. Now after you get it out of the brine, you want to pat it dry with like a paper towel or something, but we already did that. So just kind of apply it. Pat it on there, kind of massage the meat. It's nervous. It's about to go on a hot grill for several hours. So you need to help it relax. Now the bottom side of it is mostly fat and it's going to stay in the bottom, so we're not going to apply much to it, since it wouldn't really permeate through to the inside of the meat. Don't have to let it set too long. We'll put this in the grill on the grill in just a little bit here. So see you then. Okay, here's how we have the grill set up. We're going to have the meat on this side. We're going to have a pan of water. That's helped catch drippings, also helps kind of limit the temperature and adds a little moisture. And we have the heat over here. Now we lit this with what's called a chimney starter, and they're great because you don't have to use much or any lighter fluid. And we're going to put some wood chips on top of there to add a smoky flavor. Now what we're using is muscadine clippings. Now muscadines are it's a type of grapevine that grows here in the south. Now before you get to grilling, it's always a good idea to clean the grill grates. Just scrape them off real good. And a lot of times you want to add a little bit of oil to help it stay slick, so the meat doesn't stick. Okay, and soon to add the meat. Okay, here we got our meat. We're about to put it on. Like I said, we're going to put it on the side here. Heat over here. This is called indirect grilling. It's good for cooking out large pieces of meat fairly slowly. And also, throughout the thing, you need to add more coal, more wood chips, and what's called a mop sauce. Now we're about to show you how you make the mop sauce. And let me just add the wood clippings real quick. Like I said, these are a type of grapevine that goes here in the south called muscadine, and adds kind of a slight tart flavor to the meat. And you want to also, usually it's good to smoke them so they don't immediately burst into flames. You want them to smolder a while and give off their nice smoky goodness. And we'll see you all in a bit. And this is kind of what you want to see eventually, a light blue smoke coming out. You don't want very heavy smoke, otherwise the meat's going to taste kind of ashy. Okay, now we're going to make our mop sauce. You just apply this like every hour or every 30 minutes through the grilling. Helps add a little extra flavor and a little extra moisture. Now to make ours, we're going to first add some apple cider vinegar. And then you only need a half a cup of this. And we're going to use 1.5 cups tea. Now normally we would use apple juice, but it's Saturday and I don't want to go to the grocery store twice on a Saturday. It's busy out there. So we'll just change things up a little bit. And now we're going to apply this to the meat. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and apply the mop sauce. We're going to do this several times throughout the cooking, but we'll just show you how to do it once. Just kind of drizzle it over there, pat it on the sides. And also, when you do this, you can go ahead and check your coals, see if you need more, add some more wood smoke if you need it. Go ahead and add some more wood. Now. And we're good on coals, but you do need to keep checking on that. Alright, this has been on there several hours. As you can see, we wrapped it in foil. Part of that is because after a few hours it won't take much more smoke, and this will keep it, from drying out. Now, go ahead and check the temperature. At 160 will be, be done, cooked to a high enough temperature, but you want it a little higher to help dissolve some of the connective tissue in there. And we're at 180, which is good, so we're going to take it off and let it rest. Okay, so here's your finished product. What's left is just to chop it up or pull it apart or slice it, however you want to do it. I'm going to chop it, but that's a very drawn out and messy process. Well, I'll show you a quick example. One piece, I'd like to slice it. You just go at it like this and be careful with your other hand not to chop it. And I just do it into, just keep doing that until they're in tiny little chunks. Alright, here's your final product. Several hours of cooking makes for some delicious pork shoulder.